Eventually in 2016, I heard about Bitcoin. I was waiting tables and my fellow server was like, hey, like, have you heard about Bitcoin? We were talking about the stock market because the stock market was starting to get hot. I'm like, no. I'm like, okay, like you should look into it. It was $588. I run, get my credit card, Wells Fargo credit card, and buy my first Bitcoin on Bitstamp.
But what was your first initial thought when you heard about it though?
I just was trying to make some money.
Okay.
I was just like, hey,
did you not necessarily
I didn't understand that the blockchain. I hadn't read Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin white paper or the entire perspective of what it meant to live in a decentralized financial system. I was clueless. I just knew that I wanted to make money. That led me down a rabbit trail of making money online. So I started with e-commerce. Started with drop shipping because when you don't have money, you basically want to arbitrage things. Yeah. Not only that, I also was flipping Instagram usernames. So, you know, a couple of these sheiks that you see around with 4-letter handles, 5-letter handles, I would like try and like finesse them, sell handles here and there, arbitrage that, would build up meme pages or theme pages and then flip them and sell them to businesses when that kind of was hot and doing well. And then meme pages and theme pages would hit me up and be like, hey, we'd like to run a promo on your page. I'm like, okay, sounds good. And it was really funny because they're like, okay, like we want to pay you for a promo. How much? Oh, a couple $1,000s. I'm like, okay, I'll take it. But then I saw how many sales they got and how much traffic it was generating for them. I'm like, okay, well, maybe I should figure out what they're doing. So let me just start drop shipping. My brother bought a first course for $1,997 from this Asian guy. And I started learning drop shipping. From there, participated in 2017, 2018 crypto bull run. My portfolio absolutely crushed. But then I fell for the trap of, you know, at that point it was HODL. Okay. That's where the HODL message came from. In 2020 was the diamond hands, right? And the wag me, we're all going to make it. But the 2018 was HODL. But I got absolutely decimated because I held it the entire way down. But I knew at that point I was studying crypto. I was really involved. I was in the trenches that it was going to come back. It was going to bounce back. So I decided to double down on e-commerce, really start focusing on building businesses online, and ended up doing $16 million in revenue in e-com. Did pretty well. Met one of my mentors who's now my business partner inside Capital Club, Steve Tan.
How old at the time then?
I was like 23. I don't know, whatever. I'm 28 now, so just do the math.
Damn.
It was doing pretty good. But it was because I met one of my mentors by the name of Steve Tan, who'd done 9 figures in e-com. He was posting $6 million a month screenshots, and he was absolutely legit. And I contacted him. He flew me out to Phuket for one of his masterminds because we connected, we became homies. And he pulled out his phone one day and he showed me an $111,000 day on Shopify, real live. Like it wasn't the screenshot where you have to figure out, is this person lying to me? No, it was real. And I'm like, okay, there's possibilities, there's potential. He had manufacturing, he had warehouse, he had supply chain connected to all of that. That really changed my mindset, took me to the next level. I mean, he was selling on eBay in 2006. So he's like an OG of e-com. And now he's the president, he's the CEO of Capital Club. I'm the president. We became business partners and kind of are building the network there. But that led me to investing into DeFi in 2019, 2021, 2020. And I owned a 1% supply of a very popular token known as PancakeSwap, which was absolutely revolutionary. And it did extremely well. I bought it when it was a $25 million market cap, put in $250K, wrote it to 2.6 billion, obviously sold on my way up, made a little bit over $5 million on that play. And that just changed my entire perspective. So it was creating wealth, multiplying wealth. And then I cashed out at $59,000 Bitcoin, which is the preservation wealth. And obviously during the bear market, continued building Capital Club, which is my network and my organization that invest in companies, that invest in entrepreneurs, phenomenal experience. And now pretty much full-time investing in crypto companies, private equity, and obviously my Capital Club organization.
See, that's a great way to introduce yourself. A man who's heavily indulged in building generational wealth by the looks of it, right? But I want to go back to Luke Belmar as a kid, because coming to the US and hustling and bustling your way through life, where does that whole entrepreneurial spirit come from? Was it always there from the beginning, or did it only come in when you landed in the US, when you had $200 to your name?
The thing about South America and Central America, there's a lot of hustlers and a lot of entrepreneurs. Not everybody can get a job. Not everybody can actually go and get a white collar job at an office. You'll see it. There's a big entrepreneurial spirit in South America and in Central America. So it was always in the back of my mind, I want to do my own thing. But the entrepreneurial spirit I don't know if it was an entrepreneurial spirit, but it was always a spirit of, I don't want to work for somebody else. I remember I had a job for about 2 months. It was a desk job. And I had to walk to work because I didn't have a car. So I would walk about an hour. I would go in, I'd clock in. First of all, they would tell me how I would have to dress. Then they would tell me, hey, how I was supposed to behave and what I was supposed to do, which is fine. Like if you're working for an organization, you're supposed to comply. I get it. There's rules.
Yep.
But it wasn't for me. And then after 2 weeks of work, I got a paycheck for $800. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I just worked 2 weeks for $800.
Just this, yeah.
For $800. I was like, okay, let me go to Walmart. I go to Walmart, buy some groceries, spend $160, pay for my rent, which at the time was just a room, $350. I had no money left. I had no money. I was like, I cannot do this. So I instantly quit that shit and started figuring out how to hustle and make my own way. And then at that point, I went from working a desk job, and in the US, which for a lot of people, they may not know, you can actually get and make a lot of money waiting tables because it's a tip-based system. So that's where I learned how to talk to people. That's where I learned how to upsell so that people would get more expensive drinks or they would get the appetizers. So just to make the bill kind of go up because you have the standard 20% tip.
Oh, it's 20% across the bill.
Yeah, that's like the standard of like what people would consider
a good tip sort of
a good tip if you have good service. So I was like, I was learning how to make my money. I ended up working at high-end restaurants, made my way to Washington, D.C., worked at high-end restaurants, and the bills would be $700, $800, $1,000. I would close a $1,000 table, I'd make $150, $200 on tips. I'm like,
that's a lot of money for
this
a tip.
Is real money because I get to take it cash, and I would take the money cash, I would deposit it into the ATM, and that would be my Facebook ads for the next day or my investment for crypto. So that cold hard cash that I would have was my kind of exit into being able to hustle my way to where I am today. It's pretty good.
When you find out your I suppose the first real hustle, which was drop shipping, you were still working at the time.
Absolutely.
And the money from the work was getting funneled into drop shipping.
Yes.
Okay.
So whatever I would take from the tips, half of it would go into our drop shipping ads because my brother was waiting tables at the same time.
Yeah.
And then the other half would go into dumping it into Bitcoin, dumping it into ETH.
So this journey, is it all been with your brother as well?
Yeah, I mean, I was sleeping on his couch, you know. I remember getting my first contract when I started doing Facebook ads for companies on Wall Street. They would pay me $8,000 to $9,000 a month. I was still sleeping on his couch, paying him $200 a month just to sleep on his couch, and that's how I started. I already had a 6-figure income because I was getting all these deals, running Facebook ads for these companies because I got really good at it. And yeah, we kind of been hustling from the beginning together.
Damn, man. What would you say is the biggest mindset shift